When we think of Germany, we imagine a country with clean streets, trains that arrive on time, and an economy that seems unbreakable. We have been sold the idea of a nation where everything works perfectly. Cutting-edge technology, iconic brands like BMW and Siemens, free and top-notch education, and a culture that has given the world geniuses like Beethoven and Goethe. We see their modern cities, the beauty of their changing landscapes with each season of the year, Oktoberfest with its legendary beer, and the vibrant nightlife of Berlin and Hamburg. Germany seems to be the European dream, the example to follow. But what happens when we take a closer look? Germany is not only a country of innovation and technology, but also a land of history and fairy tales. With over 25,000 castles spread across its territory, many of them look like they are straight out of a medieval movie. Some have been restored and transformed into luxurious hotels or museums, while others lie in ruins, silent witnesses of a glorious past. But while some can pay thousands of euros for a night in these dream castles, the reality for many Germans is very different. In the big cities, finding a roof over one's head is not a luxury, but a daily struggle. Behind this postcard of efficiency and progress, we find a less idealized reality. The housing crisis hits the big cities. Prices soar and thousands of people sleep on the streets. Gives rise to street recycling. Most religious obsession with separating waste. There are containers of different colors for paper, plastic, glass, organic waste, and even for special waste. A mistake and throw something in the wrong container, receive a piercing glare from your neighbors, or even an official warning. But while the country is concerned about recycling every last plastic bottle, thousands of people survive by searching through the trash to earn a few cents. The image of an organized and ecological society clashes with the reality of those who depend on what others discard in order to eat. In the poorest neighborhoods, the daily struggle is to survive in a country where the cost of living continues to rise. According to recent data, the average rent in cities like Munich can exceed 2,000 euros per month for a medium-sized apartment, and in Berlin, although historically more affordable, prices have increased by more than 40% in the last decade. As a fun fact, in Germany there are rules for everything, even for when you can make noise. According to the law, Sundays and public holidays are days of absolute rest, which means that mowing the lawn, using drills, or doing DIY work is prohibited. In some buildings, even taking out the trash too late at night can lead to complaints from neighbors. But while the country strives to maintain the harmony of silence, in the streets of the big cities, there are thousands of homeless people who have no choice but to sleep outdoors, regardless of whether it's Sunday or Tuesday. Because when you don't have a roof over your head, respecting the rules of coexistence seems to be the least of your problems. And while the nation continues to attract migrants seeking opportunities, tensions arise between those who see them as a threat and those who defend their role in the economy. This has led to nationalist movements and a growing debate about German identity. If you are enjoying this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and activate the notification bell to enjoy more content like this. Germany. Its geographical location makes it a bridge between the east and west of Europe, with a diverse geography ranging from the beaches of the North Sea to the imposing Bavarian Alps. Its seasons mark the lives of its inhabitants, with summers filled with festivals, autumns of intense colors, winters of Christmas markets, and springs that awaken nature. Germany has been able to take advantage of its strategic position and natural wealth to become a power, but not without facing its own challenges. In winter, temperatures can drop to -10 degrees Celsius in some regions, making life even harder for homeless people. Throughout history, it has been the cradle of artistic and cultural movements, from classical music to literature that has marked generations. generations. Its industrial revolution led it to compete with the great powers, and after the devastation of the war, it reinvented itself with an economic miracle that took it to the top of Europe. In just 2 decades, Germany went from being in ruins to becoming the strongest economy in Europe, thanks to free market policies, international financial support, and a highly skilled workforce. However, the scars of the division between the East and the West are still present, with economic and social differences that continue to affect its population. It is estimated that the GDP per capita in the Western states is still 25% higher than in the Eastern states, and the unemployment rate in cities like Leipzig or Dresden
is almost double that of Western cities like Stuttgart or Frankfurt. The success of Germany is also reflected in its
world-renowned companies and in an educational system that offers opportunities for many. With more than 80 high-quality public universities,
Germany attracts thousands of international students looking to benefit from its free
education. Innovation and quality are part of their hallmark, but life is not easy for everyone. While some enjoy the comfort of a strong economy, others struggle with the high cost of living, the difficulty of finding housing, and growing inequality. When night falls, the country comes to life in a completely different way. Berlin, Hamburg, and Munich transform into stages of a vibrant nightlife, with bars, breweries, and iconic clubs that have made Germany a global reference for electronic music. Berlin, for example, is famous for its club Berghain, considered one of the best in the world. But in the same streets where fun and culture flourish, we also find a less festive face. The rise of poverty and people trying to survive by recycling bottles, the neighborhoods most affected by the crisis, and the homeless who sleep in train stations. Additionally, in a hyper-connected Germany, new threats have emerged. The rise of digital scams, especially the romance scam, which has evolved beyond the internet to become in-person fraud. According to reports from the German police, thousands of people have fallen victim to this type of deception, where criminals pretend to be soldiers, businessmen, or widowers seeking love and end up asking for money for false emergencies. This phenomenon has evolved and now also occurs in person. Organized gangs operate in bars and nightclubs, identifying vulnerable individuals to scam them in face-to-face encounters. Stories like that of Klaus, a 68-year-old retiree in Hamburg, are becoming increasingly common. He met a woman online who claimed to need help moving to Germany from Africa. After months of conversations and promises of love, Klaus sent her over 50,000 euros. Upon arriving at the airport, he never found her. Only then did he discover that it had all been an elaborate scam. Authorities have warned about the sophistication of these scams, which often leave victims not only bankrupt, but also emotionally devastated. Another shocking case is that of Anna, a 52-year-old nurse in Berlin. She met a man on social media who claimed to be a doctor working on a humanitarian mission in Syria. With romantic and persuasive language, the man convinced her that they were meant to be together. He asked her for money several times to cover bureaucratic fees and travel costs. Anna, convinced that she was helping the love of her life, transferred over 30,000 euros over a period of 6 months. When she finally tried to arrange a meeting, the man disappeared. Devastated, Anna discovered that she had been a victim of an international network of scammers who used false identities to deceive people across Europe. Like her, hundreds of women and men have fallen victim to these scams that prey on the vulnerability and hope of finding love. I bet you didn't know this. Behind Germany's flawless image, there is a country of contrasts: fairy tale castles and a housing crisis, obsessive recycling and people rummaging through trash to survive, strict rules and frauds that ruin lives. What the world sees is not always the complete truth. If you want to discover more hidden stories like this, give it a like, subscribe, and activate the notification bell. What other country would you like to see uncovered? Leave it in the comments. See you in the next video.